Launching or relaunching a website takes a freaking lot of work. It is a bear of a project with so many moving parts to it, and you want to make sure it's worth it in the end, right? We relaunched my website. It was my first custom website earlier this year, so I got to take a little dose of my own medicine and go through the process for myself, and it was a success, but I learned a lot along the way. So in this video, what I want to talk to you about is how you can have your very best website launch or relaunch ever. If you're excited about this today, maybe, just maybe, a website revamp is on your 2022 dream to-do list, click that like button for me, and while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. You know how this works. That lets the algorithm know you'll want to see some more of these. I drop them every single Thursday. Okay, tip number one. I want you to focus your KPIs, your key performance indicators for this marketing promo campaign. I want you to focus it on generating leads, getting people on your email list. Okay, let's have a little come to Jesus and talk about managing and setting your expectations. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I've told this to clients. I've told it to so many students inside Copywriting for Creatives. No one cares about your website launch unless you give them a reason to. And a lot of times what I see, been in this industry specifically in marketing, this niche of it for over 5 years now, we put out websites thinking that everybody wants to come see your new website. Maybe some people do, but by and large, people are busy. And if you're not giving them any sort of lure or reason to go to your website, they're not gonna go. They're gonna click that thumbs up on your Instagram post. Yay, congratulations, go you, and they're gonna move on their day. So tip number one to your website launch, this goes along with managing your expectations. I want you to set a data point that you can actually measure, and I would recommend that be growing your email list. Traffic stats are great. I care if that lead is captured so we can follow up with them later. By the way, you are gonna wanna hit that subscribe button because next week's video, I'm going to talk to you about all sorts of different ways that you can grow your email list on your website beyond just the whole put up a good lead magnet thing. But this is the metric I recommend you start with. Use that momentum and that pressure around a website launch and announcement to engage with your audience and flip those followers into subscribers. Don't make your website launch passive for your audience. Make it active. Maybe you can pump out a brand new opt-in or a tripwire, a low-priced thing that they can purchase from your website. Maybe you can hide Easter eggs along the way on your website. Make it a scavenger hunt that they can go find or find the coupon. You could grow your list with some sort of big giveaway around the launch period. For my website launch this year, we did a big flash sale. We typically only do 2 a year. This year, I was only planning on Black Friday's launch because of maternity leave, so I coupled it with a big flash sale. That's what I'm talking about. Give them a reason to care about your launch. That goes for all launches, but website ones in particular. Okay, number two, I want you to know what action or conversion you want people to take on each piece of your website or each funnel. So before I launched this website, buddy, I knew exactly what conversion rate I needed to hit in order to tell me if those were successful or not pieces of my website. I know my strategy calls landing page, essentially it's an 1-hour coaching call. I knew that on that page I needed to hit somewhere between 3 to 5% for me to feel confident in the offer. It's in essence an application funnel. It's performing at 9.47%. Thank you very much. I know my opt-in pages and freebies need to perform around 40%. So those are going to be the pages where it's condensed and you have pretty much one action you can take on that page. I'm not going to give you any escape routes. If you sign up for that freebie, I want those to perform well. They're performing above 70%. Like to see that. I also know the Shopify portion of my website, the copy bar shop, I need that to be performing between 1 and 2%. It can depend based on industry, but most of us are going to want to hit between 1 and 2% of a conversion rate on your website. So that means at least 1 to 2% of all of the traffic that's landing there is taking the action step you want them to take. Maybe that is hopping on an application form and filling it out and hitting submit. Maybe it's getting on your email list. Again, more on that in next week's video. Maybe it's purchasing. Right now, the shop is performing at 3.23%. I like it, but game on. I want to see if I can get that higher. This is one reason I was so passionate about gutting the Copywriting for Creatives curriculum for this 10th launch, because knowing those stats and metrics, that then becomes the new game. The new game isn't worrying about comparing my website to anything else. My game is trying to beat my own metric. You've got to know this stuff for your own business, for your own website. If you do not know it, don't worry. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you with it. I'm actually holding your hand to teach you some of this in a workshop coming up. This is going to be a co-working session where we can dive into some of this together. Look down below for that link or go to awcopyclass.com. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is a hot take, but I say soft launch your website before you do a big promo about it, because I swear your website's gonna have so many different kinks to iron there now. You can go through all the checklists. You can shrink all the images. You can update the website and look at every single little bit of copy for mobile and desktop. You can test on different browsers. You can do all the things, and I swear to you, there will still be one person that emails in and says, hey, I found this random obscure page. That especially goes to those of you who have gargantuan websites or you've been blogging for years. This happens. That's something I'm actually really glad we did this time around, is we turned the website on, but I didn't announce it publicly for 1 week. So I had enough traffic going there from different sources that was able to pinpoint for me things that my small team and we just missed because there's so many pages. Tip number 4, I want you to build anticipation, because a website launch is kind of a sleeper of a launch. A product launch or a course launch, a collection launch, that kind of feels more like, I don't know, betting on horse racing or the stock market. It's quick, it's fun, it's fast. But your website launch is like investing in your 401k. You've done all this work, you're gonna put it out there, and you are hoping and betting on the fact that it's gonna do its job over time, and it's gonna be this sustainable piece of messaging, this bedrock piece to perform for your business. And oh boy, does it take a lot of work, but you don't usually see that hockey stick go up in your bank account right away. It is a long game. So what I want you to do is, again, we're gonna talk about managing expectations, but I want you to start seeding in with your audience the fact that you're even working on this, the fact that it's even a project. Mention it to your list, mention it on social media, share different images and sneak peeks of what it's starting to shape up and look like. Let them vote or have say in what it could be. Yes, this can work in your favor for sales later, but I think this tip is more psychological, because as you go through the process, and it's so much work, it can feel good to have a little bit of affirmation along the way of people saying like, hey, I see what you're doing, congrats. Another tip here, you may want to find you some hype people. Maybe it's your web designer or developer, your brand photographer, your brand designer, mastermind buddies. If you're inside copywriting for creatives, then I better be one of your hype buddies. Again, mind game, but it can feel good during that launch where it is more of a long game investment strategy in fixing and updating your website, because those funnels need to be on and running enough to get the traffic in to where it can come out the other side. It can feel good to have someone pat you on the back and say, it looks really pretty. Okay, last tip, number 5, run the checklist again. So you'll notice in this video, I didn't take you through a laundry list of all the things that you need to test and tweak on your website. That would be a whole video in and of itself, which I'd be glad to do. Comment down below if you need that, and CFC students, go find your checklist of all of these things inside the curriculum. But here are some basics for everybody. Number 1, make sure you linked to your terms and conditions or your legal page. Make sure all paragraphs are less than 3 to 4 sentences long. I like 3 or less. Did you use copy smaller than 16 points sparingly? Test all the links. Are all hyperlinks working? This is going to take some time, but open up all of them in a separate window. Make sure that it populates correctly. Did you shrink all your images? I like tinypng.com. That's my favorite one. And then once you do pull those images in, then make sure you appropriately tag them with the correct alt text. Make sure you add those meta descriptions for all pages. Again, I could go on forever with this checklist, but go through it again. There's so many little technical aspects to the website launch. I've talked a lot about the mindset and the pre-launch and the promo of it, but do those things as well. Here's one more little bonus tip for you. We worked with Angela over at Saffron Avenue. She designed my new logo, which I am in love with. Angela had the idea to switch the website to a landing page waitlist while we were pushing things over to the new site. The domain was not moving, but a lot of these pages were being re-updated and checked along the way. So we had all traffic redirect to just a simple waitlist page for about a weekend while we got things together and tested them. Then again, like I said, that was up, switched over for about a week. And then once we really had a lot of traffic come test things, then buddy, you know, I told all my people about it, announced the sale and everything. With all of these tips, I know you're gonna have the best website launch or relaunch possible. Make sure you look down below or go to awcopyclass.com to come to that co-working session. And if you've got any questions, make sure you drop them down below. I always love answering those for y'all. Don't forget to click like and subscribe so you don't miss these. And now that you know all about that website launch or relaunch, make sure you watch this next video I've got teed up. I'm taking you through the major buying styles, the ways that people are thinking about spending money when they land on your website, and you don't want to miss that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.